Hello, and welcome to News You Can Use. I'm Patty Nash, your host. On today's show, we're going to be talking about two summer programs. One that'll feed your mind, and one that'll feed your belly. And here to talk about our summer reading program is Judith Conway, our Supervisor of Unified Arts. Welcome to the show, Judith.
Oh, well, thank you, Patty. I'm glad to be here and always glad to talk about summer reading and the joy of reading and all that kind of fun summer stuff.
And this is the second year, I believe, of our MyOn program that's available for all of the children?
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's the third year.
Okay.
The first year was sort of pilot-ish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we said, well, let's stick our foot in the water for this. Let's see how this works out. So that you're right in that the past 2 years have been we've really been promoting it and going full force, teaching kids how to use it and stuff like that.
So MyOn is, and correct me if I'm wrong, please,
I will.
online library that children
It
can
is.
access.
Absolutely, yes,
Okay.
yes. There are 5,700 books
Okay.
in there for children. We're using it with our current K to 5 students.
Okay.
So they all are able to get on, and I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
But what happens is the child goes on there, and there are some books that are recommended. Of course, they can search the whole library if they would like. And then, yes, they click, the book opens up. They can read the whole book. They don't have to there is no book that will be signed out by another child, which will mean that I can't read it right now.
So every K-5 can be reading the same book.
If that should happen to be, then yes.
Unlikely, but
we're
ready for it.
Exactly, we are. We're ready for it.
Right.
So they can all be reading books, of course, to their choice. I really like the program because it really combines easy access. One of the other things I really like about it is that the book will be read to the child if the child wants. You know, there's just a button to click, and then
there's audio.
There's audio for the book. Yes.
Oh,
and
wow.
the voices. You know how some voices are really computery voices
Right.
that are hard to understand. There's
Right.
no expression. Not so with this.
Okay.
Not so with this. It's expressive reading, so that it's as if someone is really reading to you, as opposed to a computer voice that just keeps going and going, and there's no expression.
And how were these books selected to be part of the library?
Well, there are a number of children's publishers. With MyOn, the main publisher is Capstone,
Okay.
who is famous in the circles for good children's literature and nonfiction
Okay.
books. And so they've chosen the 5,700. But what's really interesting is how the child gets to choose. Now, the librarians have been working with the children since the beginning of May, so that by the time the children leave school for the summer, each child will have logged in at least twice.
Okay.
The first time you log in, you're often given a quiz, an interest inventory and a reading quiz. So the interest inventory is really pretty simple and straightforward. Do you like to read books about sports? Do you like to read books about animals? Do you like to read books about science? And so there's a little slider, and so you put the slider. For the little ones, it's like a happy face and a sad face. So do you want to go more towards the happy face or more towards the sad face? So it grabs their interest level. And then the quiz is some paragraphs for them to read and some questions for them to answer. And what they're doing with that is they're calculating the child's lexile level. You know, how difficult a book can this child read?
Okay.
And then, so they get a pretty personalized look at the child, and they base on that, they base what they're going to recommend for the child. So it really looks a lot like Netflix.
Okay.
Except with book titles instead of movie titles. So it'll have, when the child logs in, it'll have a strip of book covers that says recommended for you. And then if you scroll down a little more, they'll be in different categories based on the categories that you chose.
Okay.
So if you said you really like science, then there's a science category that's recommended for you. So what they do is they put the child's interest level together with how well they read. So for example, for a first grader, you're not going to get the same recommendations that you would for a third grader.
Right.
And so they put that together so that the child is reading books on their level or a little below, sometimes a little above, so that they can encourage and push the child, knowing that the child can always click that button and get the book read to them. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
When the child finishes the book, they click the end and it gets counted as a book that they've read. And
are we tracking who's reading and what they're reading over the summer? Is this tied to any required reading over the summer? Okay.
No, this is
purely enjoyment for the children.
Right, purely enjoyment for the children.
Okay.
We are trying to encourage their love of reading because we know that is one of the essential skills that all people who are successful possess, and we want all of our children to possess that skill for success as well.
I was a reader as a kid. I mean, I remember my mother telling me, go outside, and because I was reading a book.
Yes, one of my favorites, this is really going to date me, but one of my favorites, like, you know, the Nancy Drew books?
Oh, yes.
Well, there was me too, but there was another series called Judy Bolton. Well, since my name is Judy, and, you know, Judy Bolton, and Horace was her boyfriend, and
was it a Nancy Drew knockoff?
Yeah, more or less, but I thought it was a pretty good knockoff.
Okay.
And I enjoyed those books tremendously.
Right.
Like, I would reread them, and you know, it was just great to have them. And that's what's nice about this, that kids can reread books.
Right.
And they can say, well, what do I feel like today? Well, I feel like looking at a book about animals. And there'll be books about animals that they can look at. Or, of course, fiction books as well.
Okay.
It's a little heavier on nonfiction because that's kind of what Capstone, the publisher, does.
Okay.
They're a little heavier on the nonfiction, but we like to encourage that too.
Sure. Well, kids have a lot of interests. You know.
Exactly.
They might like to read about dinosaurs, and I'm sure they have a lot of dinosaur books.
They do. And what's nice is that it's on different levels, so that your kindergartner can read a book about dinosaurs, your first grader can read a book about dinosaurs, your fifth grader can read a book about dinosaurs, and they're all going to be different choices based on their reading level. The actual program goes up to 12th grade.
Okay.
So those kids who are in 5th grade that are advanced readers, they'll have something to challenge them as well.
And what device do you have to access Myon?
Oh, that's an excellent question. You can have just about any device in the known universe.
Okay.
Maybe not a toaster.
Okay.
But everything else, I think we're pretty good.
So a laptop, a desktop, a tablet,
a phone.
A phone.
Yeah. It'll
with the
run
kids
on
reading like this.
Yeah.
The phone is not great, kids.
Right. You won't be able to see the pictures real well. It's pretty small. But anything else, yeah. As a matter of fact, a mailing went out this week. So this is the 3rd week of May we're talking about, to every family for every child K to 5, current K to 5, with a paper explaining Myon, with the child's school name, their username, and their password, which is the same as their regular username and password. So if they're used to going to technology class and getting in with their username and password, it's the same thing.
Good.
But it will be written on the letter that goes home. The children will have tried it twice. We're featuring it right here, News You Can Use. A little plug for Red Clay this month. We featured it on Red Clay this month
for the summer. You may recognize Judith. She is the host of our very successful show, Red Clay this month.
Well, that's why I wanted to give it a plug. So we'll have talked about it there. There will be an article on the district website, and many school websites are putting articles up there as well.
Okay, and look for your year-end Red Clay record. We'll put an article on the Red Clay record with explaining Myon.
Exactly. Now, I do want to go back to one thing you said in terms of tracking. Now, the system tracks what kids read. We won't ever report that individually.
Okay.
With one small exception, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We report in aggregate. Like, for example, I can tell you right now that the librarians have been working very hard because across the district we have had over 9,000 books read.
Already?
Already.
Excellent.
So they're reading them in school, they're reading them at home already, because you just can't get that many books read. And that's when they read all the way through and they click the end button that they have finished the book.
Oh, wow.
We have had over 14,000 books
signed out.
Or opened
okay.
and have children, look at the first couple of pages, like what you might expect in terms of, you take the book off the shelf, you look at it, you say, oh, no, I don't think I want to read this one, and you put it back.
Okay.
So those are two different numbers. So all in all, you would say we've had like over 20,000 books opened.
Let's say a child doesn't have access to a device, doesn't have a tablet, doesn't have a computer at home. Can they go to the library?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. This website is accessible from anywhere, anywhere in the world. You just have to have your school name, your username, and your password.
Okay.
And that's it. And then it'll log them right into their account. So if they started a book and haven't finished it yet, it'll pick up right where they left off.
Okay. And is there any cost to families to sign up for this program?
No. We've signed them all. We've signed all the children up.
Okay.
So no, Red Clay. There is a cost to Red Clay, but we feel that it's important enough for children to have a wide variety of books over the summer. So that we want to support it. Absolutely. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't ever take your children to the library.
Right.
Of course you take your children to the library, because having those books in hand is a different experience than having it online. But we view this as a nice supplement. So I can't get to the library, or I don't want to have to worry about late fees, etc.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a family that's going on vacation and they have their children have a tablet, and you're bringing a library with you.
Exactly. You don't have to carry all of those books. You've got it, in effect, right in the tablet. Now, there's an app that you can download for iOS or Android tablets, devices, I guess I should say. And with that, you can, when you're on a Wi-Fi, you can download, I can't remember the number, it's at least 10 books.
Okay.
And then if, like, you're in the car and you don't have Wi-Fi, they'll have been downloaded onto the tablet. And then the next time you get to a Wi-Fi, you can download some more if you need to, or just go back to using the browser.
Nice feature.
Yeah, just go back to using the browser, and then you have the live interaction.
It's probably not complicated at all to the kids to learn how to use this system.
It's really not, because you simply log in, and then it brings you right to the dashboard that I said. It's very Netflix-like.
Okay.
So the book covers will be there, stuff that's recommended. There'll be a little section saying, books you're currently reading, and you just click. And the book opens, and you click, and it turns the page, and all of those nice things.
Well, we can't end this interview without giving another plug for how important it is to read over the summer. I think everybody knows that, but
right. And what I wanted to add was that we're with our partners, Myon, we're having a reading contest. So that's the only time that a child's name would be announced, and of course it would be announced to the parent first. So and there are prizes. So within Red Clay School District, the child who reads the most in kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5 will get, I think it's a Samsung tablet.
Oh, nice.
As the prize.
At the end of the summer?
At the end of the summer. So this will go until the end of August. And then runners-up will get other prizes, maybe red box codes or gift certificates, things like that.
Do kids have to register to be in that contest, or
No.
they'll be, as you read, you're in the contest?
As you read, you're in the contest.
Oh, nice.
And so we'll do that tracking at the end of the summer, and we'll figure out
and
who
we'll
has
announce
won.
who the winners are.
Oh, absolutely. Again, we would go through the parents first.
Sure.
And Yes, announce who the winners are and finish up using this.
Well, it's a nice service that we're offering to parents and families and kids, and thanks very much for coming in and telling us about it.
Oh, I'm happy to do so, and I hope children all across the district have a wonderful summer of reading.
When we come back, we're going to talk about a summer lunch program that we offer for our schools. Please stay with us. Thanks very much.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you've got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hello, and welcome back to News You Can Use. Here, I'm joined by Jessica Terranova, who is the manager of Red Clay's Nutrition Services, and she's going to tell us today about an expanded free lunch program that Red Clay runs over the summer. This is a federally funded program that serves families in need throughout our community. And I understand that this year you're piloting some mobile meals and some other locations that meals will be available. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Of course. As Patty mentioned, I'm the supervisor for the school nutrition program here at Red Clay, which during the school year we put a lot of emphasis on serving healthy, nutritious meals to the students. And during the summer, we understand that good nutrition doesn't take a break. It's very valuable to students. They're very active in the summertime. During the school year, it's important to keep them well fed to make sure they're focused during the school day. So we value good nutrition all year long. It shouldn't take a break in the summer. And we have found that a lot of our students that attend our school and even outside of our school district may not have access to healthy meals as readily available to them during the summer as they are during the school year. So we're doing our best to try and make programs accessible to those students and any other member of the community 18 years and under, free of charge, and that would be breakfast and lunch. So those meals are accessible through our district, through our program, but not, as you said, not funded by the district. It is a federally funded program, and it's through the Child and Adult Care Feeding Program.
Okay. And is this something that people have to register for?
Nope.
Okay.
No registration.
Okay.
Will be, in the past, we've done it for several years now, and in the past we've done the programs at just Red Clay sites that were operating a summer school program or some kind of summer program during the year. This year we are expanding, as you mentioned, to a mobile feeding program where we will be stocking a truck with meals and taking them to alternate sites where there may be a large population of students that may not be enrolled in a camp, whether they're home with an aunt and uncle, mom, dad, that may not be doing something during the day and may not have access to meals. So we're piloting that for this school year.
Okay.
And hoping that it's successful with an expansion to get more trucks on the road next summer.
Okay, great. How many locations will there be this summer?
This summer, there are 9 schools that are operating the summer program within Red Clay. So every one of those sites will have meals available. And then in addition, for the mobile site, we will be going to 3 sites and we will be dropping off at 2 camps.
Okay.
There are several sites that are operating. The program dates and times and meal times do vary depending on what's going on in that school and for that program. So for information about what sites we are participating in and what time we're offering meals, everything is on our website.
Okay. And what's the code for the website?
The website is
code's not the right word.
That's okay. We actually, it used to be a really long link, but we've simplified it, and it is now just www.redclaycafe.com.
Okay.
In addition to information about our summer meals program, there's a lot of information about our school meal program, our lunch menus, breakfast menus. If you need to submit a meal benefit form during the school year, that's available on the website. We post pictures of our cafeterias and the foods we serve on our website, so it's a very educational.
You're a very active department, I know.
Yes, yes. We always are looking to accomplish something new and different, and always looking to improve our program. So.
Okay, and we're going to run a slide. It should be coming up on screen of the 9 schools and the 3 other outside locations where meals, breakfast and lunch,
correct,
will be available over the summer. How many meals are we prepared to serve over the summer?
It is, so how the program works is during the school year, if a program is operating at a school, we schedule time to serve meals to the students that are enrolled in that program. But as part of the program, the child and adult care, it's actually called the Summer Food Service Program. So to not say that so many times, it is SFSP.
Okay.
So the SFSP program, the goal is to reach as many students during the summer as possible. So what we do, once we operate a school site, we then designate a time frame to open the building to students in that surrounding community to come in and get free meals of no charge. And again, that's anyone, regardless of income, household eligibility, whether or not they're enrolled in a Red Clay school. It is all irrelevant. As long as they're 18 years and under, they can enter the building and they can get a breakfast if it's during the time, or lunch if it's during the scheduled time.
What about an adult that's accompanying the child?
Adults can accompany. We will serve adult meals. There is a charge for the adult meals. It's $2.25 for breakfast and $3.50 for lunch.
Okay.
However, we really don't focus on serving just adults. So the adult has to be accompanied by a child.
Okay.
If they're or anyone 18 years and under. We encourage adults come in with their students, so their children, so they can participate in the program. We get more children participation.
Sure.
But we don't actually provide the meals, or there is a charge associated with adults.
Okay, and then and how are we letting parents know about the program? Where can they get more information?
We're distributing flyers, and as Patty mentioned, the flyer was up on the screen a few minutes ago. That is posted on our website. I believe it's going to be ran on the district website as well.
Yes.
And we will try to do as much outreach as we can through local radio stations. Hopefully we can get something, through other avenues as far as advertising. But we're encouraging the schools to also get this information out there to the students that are enrolled in their school. And hopefully, if they have brothers, sisters, cousins, friends, they can communicate that, pass that information along to those that also may need access to the meals. And
do we know, how important a program this is for the families that can take advantage of it?
It is, yeah, it definitely is. To put into perspective, you asked me earlier, and I didn't fully answer your question, so I apologize. The number of students you said we're planning on reaching.
Right.
As far as the programs, as far as the enrolled students, not taking into account the students that may be coming in for community participation, just the enrolled students, and then the projected number of students that are going to be on site as to where we're taking the mobile truck. We're anticipating to reach about 2,125 students per day.
Oh, wow.
For lunch, and we're not sure how many for breakfast. And that is just a daily rate. So those are students that we're expecting to be in these areas, in these buildings, that will have access to meals that maybe they have access to meals at home, but the meals that they're getting through our department will include a fruit, a vegetable, a low-fat milk product, a whole grain, and a low-fat protein. So it's a balanced meal, and it's very important to keep that good nutrition going all summer long.
Okay.
So it doesn't.
And are our folks preparing the meals?
Correct.
Okay.
All the meals will be prepared by Red Clay School Nutrition staff members. So we have. There's at least one person, obviously, in every site, with the exception of the drop-off sites. But the mobile meals, the meals that will be taken out in the truck, will be prepared at Conrad. There's a small program at Conrad, so we'll be feeding the students at Conrad, but we'll also be preparing all the mobile meals there. They'll be loading the truck around 10:30. We'll be going to our first location at 11, second location around 11:45, and third location around 12:30. And like I said, this is our first time trying this program, but we're hoping we have the opportunity to continue to expand it into other areas for future years.
Okay, and the federal program, is this a long-term existing program?
It is.
Okay.
There's a huge push in the state to try and get more school nutrition programs involved in the summer feeding program. We have great accessibility to the students. We have the ability to get the information out there to the students so they know about the program. If they don't know about it, they're not going to come. So we really want to figure out, I think they're really encouraging schools to participate because we have the resources, we have the tools. You said we have the staff. We already have the people that know how to prepare these meals that are all federally regulated with nutrition guidelines. So there's certain menu planning guidelines that we have to follow for the meals, and we're already trained on that. So we're ready to rock. So it's a matter of just establishing the sites, getting the staffing ready, preparing the meals, and it's it's a safe environment for a student to come into a school, or
Right.
if we can find a safe environment to deliver the mobile meals, it's a much needed program that does need to be out there more. I think they're trying to really expand it, at least in Delaware, and I think nationwide they're really trying to expand it.
Right.
But there is a huge push within schools. In Red Clay, we were really excited to jump on board and bring the program.
And the federal
forward.
dollars pay for the food, the staff,
Correct.
everything?
Everything, yes.
Yeah,
So it's a
okay.
federally funded program. So how it's funded, just as a quick recap, or overview, I should say. So every meal that we serve, the federal government gives us a certain amount of money back for each meal that we claim is served to a student of 18 years or under. So they give us a dollar amount that we get per meal. Within that dollar amount, that we have to budget, from our perspective, how are we going to make that dollar stretch to cover food, to cover staffing, and any other necessary purchases, paper supplies, equipment. So we're trying. There is a balancing act with the budget, but it's a great program, and we're happy to find a way to make it work. But it's a per meal reimbursement, is what it is.
Okay. And again, there's no registration required?
Nope. You just
Okay.
show up. So like I said, you can show up on site. Any of the sites that are listed within the flyer that was posted earlier and will be posted again at www.redclaycafe.com and then on our website. You can come to any of those sites during the program. Dates, times, walk in as long as it's during those hours. Every site has asked for the school sites. Every school has asked that you come report to the main office, check in with the secretary, and then you sign in and you walk to the cafeteria, just so we know who's in the building. It's important,
Sure.
security. So that is the procedure, that you walk into the office, check in, and then you can go to the cafeteria and get a meal during those designated time frames.
No questions asked? I mean, it's not like someone's going to ask for ID?
ID,
or-
nope. There's
okay.
you don't need to, during the regular school year, as you know, with the exception of the schools that can participate in the Community Eligibility Provision Program, which is every student enrolled in a school is eligible to receive a free meal. All the schools that don't participate in the CEP program, which in Red Clay we have 8 schools total that are not CEP schools, there is a meal benefit form that households have to fill out in order to get free meals. This is not required during the summer.
Okay.
You show up, you get a meal, and this is again, I can't emphasize enough, this is a federally funded program, and their goal is to reach more students who don't have access to these meals during the summer. And it might not even be income. It might be, you have working parents that aren't home to prepare the meals during the day, and you might eat a bag of chips. So instead of eating a bag of chips, you can come get this healthy meal. So it doesn't have to be tied to a stigma of being low income. It's about bringing healthy, nutritious food to our future, our kids.
That's right. And we don't forget about the kids over the summer.
No, exactly. Just because school's off doesn't mean good nutrition takes a break. As our summer feeding model is that that we really want to be able to provide those healthy meals to the students.
If someone has a question, who can they contact?
They can contact our office if they
Okay.
have any questions. The number to our office is 302-992-5580.
Okay.
And everyone in my office is well versed on the program, where we have sites, how they participate. So they can call our office at any time. You can always call this, if there's one of the participating schools, you could call the school and find out if you want more information about times. But really everything is available in that handout, which hopefully you could go to the school. If you don't have access to a computer, you could go to the school and ask for a copy, or call the office and we'd be happy to send a copy. But all the information really that you need is in the flyer.
Okay. And
we
forgive
have.
me if I've asked this
No, no
already.
problem.
Does this run the entire summer?
It does not run the entire summer. So the Mobile Meals program is our longest running, and that is going to start on June 11th.
Okay.
21st, actually, I apologize. June 21st.
Okay.
And then it's going to run till, I think it's August 6th is that program date. The other programs, and the reason I'm not 100% sure on all these dates, which they're all listed in the flyer, is because there's so many. As you know, our summer programs, there's so many moving parts.
Okay, so
to our
there's
summer
different
programs.
dates depending on the
Correct.
location.
Different dates. Some are only Monday through Thursday. Some are Monday through Friday.
Okay.
So make sure you review the flyer before you go to a site. I wouldn't want to see you report to a site to get a meal and then find out that they're not operating that day.
Okay.
So do pay close attention. Find whichever site is most conveniently located to where perhaps you're coming from, and determine what program dates and program meal times.
And there's different times, different days available
Correct.
per location. That's why it's a big chart.
Correct.
That you can go to Red Clay Cafe to find, or redclayschools.com to find.
Correct. Yes. And like I said, it was sent to all schools as well. So if the secretary or somebody at the school building has access to it, hopefully they would be able to provide copies as well. But we want to get the program out there. We want to reach as many students as we can with this program. So.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks very much. Unless there's something else that you wanted to add.
I think that's pretty much it. I'm really excited about the opportunity. Like I said, we hope to move the mobile meals program forward next summer. We're hoping that we reach more sites. If anyone has a particular site where you know a lot of students are during the summer that you think would be a good site to offer a mobile meals program next summer, please don't hesitate to call the nutrition office with that information. If there's a community outreach or a church where a lot of students may congregate during the summer, I would be very welcome the opportunity to hear about where these students are. Where can we target this population?
Where's the need?
Where is the need? Exactly.
Yeah. Where is the need? Yep.
So I encourage information to be brought to us if there is somewhere we're not targeting that we should.
Okay, well, we hope that this program is part of a happy, healthy summer for everyone.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us today on News You Can Use, and we'll see you next time.